In the shadow-streaked corridors of a bustling space station orbiting Earth, a metallic clang echoed as the damaged escape pod collided with the docking bay. Inside, Princess Alara of Nebulon clutched a data crystal critical to the survival of her planet, her breath fogging up the small, dimly lit cabin. As the hatch creaked open, revealing the silhouettes of various alien species, she stepped out, only to be met with averted eyes and closed doors. Whispers filled the air, thick with suspicion and disdain, yet she caught a few words that chilled her to the core. That's the Nebulon princess. Don't get involved. The neon glow of Upsilon Space Station, orbiting Earth, pierced the void of space like a beacon. Amidst this nexus of interstellar commerce and diplomacy, an alarm blared suddenly. A spacecraft sleek, silver, adorned with the emblems of Nebulon royalty spiraled toward Docking Bay 7, its hull scorched and leaking atmosphere. With a shriek of metal under stress, the craft made contact, skidding to a halt just short of the safety barriers. Inside, Princess Alara of Nebulon braced against her restraints, her wince sharp as the impact sent a jolt through her spine. Her breaths were rapid, misting the dim cockpit. Once the shuddering subsided, she released the harness with shaking hands and assessed the damage. Critical systems flickered intermittently, life support struggled feebly, and her mission vital to her planet's peace hung by a thread. Fortifying herself against the encroaching panic, Alara activated the hatch. It groaned open, exposing the shadow-streaked interior of the station. She stepped out, her royal attire a fusion of Nebulon's silk and armor plating ill-suited for the suspicious glances that met her from the assorted crowd. Humans, Galactians, among others, shifted their expressions from surprise to wary calculation. I require assistance, Alara declared, her voice reverberating off the metal walls. Her usually commanding tone was tinged with desperation. This is a diplomatic mission of peace. My ship needs urgent repairs. Murmurs spread through the crowd. Nebulon. Aren't they the spies? One voice carried clearly enough for all to hear. Another scoffed, helping her could spell trouble. With the crowd's unease palpable, they dispersed, leaving Alara in the echoing emptiness of the bay. Her pleas seemed to dissipate into the vastness of the station, unanswered. Battling a surge of despair, Alara straightened her shoulders and pressed deeper into the station's core. Her steps were deliberate, her gaze unyielding, though she noted each averted eye and shut shop front. The tarnished reputation of her people, tainted by whispers of espionage, seemed to create a barrier colder and more definitive than the vacuum of space itself. Her search led her to a dimly lit tavern tucked away in a lesser-known sector of the station. Pushing through the low door, she found herself scrutinized by various species, their conversations halting as they appraised her appearance. At the bar, a human bartender paused his wiping of the counter, eyeing her with a blend of curiosity and caution. Approaching the bar, she attempted once more, "Can anyone assist me with repairing my ship? I can provide compensation." The bartender leaned forward, his face a mask of neutrality. "Lady, assisting a Nebulon right now is more trouble than it's worth, especially around here." As she turned, ready to confront her isolation once more, a voice stopped her. "Wait," called a human from the shadows, his tool belt and stained coveralls identifying him as an engineer. He scrutinized her, his gaze lingering on the royal insignia adorning her attire. "I'm Tom," he introduced himself, stepping into the light. "Politics don't concern me much, but I know ships. Let's see what we can do for yours." Princess Alara followed Tom through a maze of corridors, her gaze flickering around as they navigated the throngs of the bustling space station. The engineer moved with a determined stride, leading her from the commercial core of Upsilon to its more utilitarian arteries, where the polish of commerce gave way to the grime of industry. They arrived at a secluded hangar bay, cluttered with spare parts and the husks of decommissioned ships. Tom activated the overhead lights, casting stark shadows amid the rows of tools and machinery. "Here we are," he declared, sweeping his arm across the space. "It's humble, but it has everything we need." Alara stepped carefully over a jumble of cables. "Your help is invaluable, Tom. However, I must caution you, aiding me might attract unwelcome scrutiny. Tom's chuckle resonated softly in the expansive hangar. In my line of work, Princess, risk is a daily companion. He approached a workbench and wiped his hands on a cloth. Now, please explain what exactly befell your ship. As Alara detailed the events, Tom listened intently, his gaze occasionally darting to the holographic blueprints she displayed from her data device. It seems your propulsion matrix bore the worst of it. Let's start there. His hands moved expertly, selecting tools as he spoke. The subsequent hours blurred into a flurry of activity. Tom maneuvered beneath panels and dove into the circuitry with seasoned skill, while Alara aided him, passing tools and elucidating the unique features of her ship's technology. Despite the grave nature of their task, a bond formed through the shared language of repairs. Abruptly, Tom halted, examining a charred circuit board. This damage appears deliberate, he murmured, scrutinizing the burnt edges. Alara leaned in, a chill settling over her. Sabotage? Possibly, Tom answered, placing the component aside. We must remain vigilant. For now, we continue. As they labored, Tom's interest in Nebulon and its denizens deepened. Throughout their exchanges, Alara regaled him with tales of her home, a world of sprawling oceans and sky-born cities, where technology and nature coexisted seamlessly. Tom reciprocated with stories of Earth, depicting the splendor and turmoil of a world still finding its footing in the vast galaxy. The more you share, the less I comprehend why anyone would wish harm upon your people, Tom remarked, shaking his head as he forged a new connection. It's born from fear, Alara responded quietly. Fear of the unknown. Fear that divides us. Their discussion was interrupted by the sharp beep of Tom's scanner. He withdrew it, his brow furrowing at the readout. We have visitors, he announced, moving toward the hangar's entrance. It seems our collaboration has not gone unnoticed. Alara's alertness sharpened. At the entrance, Tom peered out discreetly. It's clear for now, but we must stay watchful. Whoever is responsible might strike again. Alara nodded, her resolve rekindled. Then we must ensure we are prepared. My mission is too crucial to succumb to fear. Within the throbbing heart of Upsilon Space Station, amidst the rhythmic pulses of machinery and the distant hum of conversation, a different kind of symphony played out in Tom's makeshift workshop, a concerto of clinks, clatters, and the persistent whir of tools. Here, Tom and Alara delved deeper into the guts of her damaged spacecraft. Tom, his deft hands shaped by years in the mechanics trade, navigated the complex alien technology with ease. His movements were a blur, seamlessly transitioning from Terran tools to the specialized instruments Alara had provided. I've repaired plenty of human ships, but this, he said, brandishing a hydro spanner, is truly remarkable. Alara, holding a magnetic tray filled with delicate components, gave a small smile. Nebulon technology is an extension of our essence forged from the core materials of our planet, almost sentient. Tom nodded, his appreciation evident as he adjusted a luminescent conduit. It's more akin to art than mere engineering. Their technical dance was interspersed with deep conversations about their worlds. Tom painted vivid images of Earth's lush forests and expansive cities, his words infused with the colors of a planet healing from ecological brinkmanship. Enthralled, Alara reciprocated with descriptions of Nebulon's cities aglow with lights and seas that sang with unsung hues, unseen by human eyes. Our planets aren't so different, Tom. Both possess beauty and complexity, both deserving of peace. As time passed, their dialogue meandered into their personal lives. Tom shared his journey to the space station, a quest far from Earth's gravity but nearer to atonement for past transgressions. Alara, in turn, opened up about the burdens of her crown and the solitude it imposed. The rapport they cultivated was a mosaic of shared vulnerabilities and mutual respect, strengthened with each fixed component, an exchanged story. It was amidst this camaraderie, their hands grimed with lubricant and faces illuminated by the soft light of a diagnostic screen, that an alert interrupted, a subtle beep from Tom's data pad indicating a nearby anomaly. The atmosphere shifted instantly to one of vigilance. Tom scrutinized the readings. There are thermal fluctuations coming from the east corridor, could be a breach, or perhaps someone prying into forbidden areas. Alara's features tensed. Sabotage? Or mere cautious paranoia, Tom suggested, reaching for his tool belt. Stay here. Lock the door. I'll investigate. No, I'll accompany you, Alara insisted firmly, her voice brooking no argument. We confront this threat together. They moved with stealth through the dim corridors, nearing the source of the disturbance. The air grew perceptibly colder, the usual hum of the station dulled. Tom halted, signaling a pause with his raised hand. They listened, only the distant thrum of life support systems filled the silence. Then, a shadow stirred at the end of the corridor, a slight motion, yet stark against their heightened senses. Tom's hand shifted to his side, gripping a tool repurposed as a weapon. Alara positioned herself beside him, her posture regal and determined, embodying not just a princess of planets, but of the moment itself. The shadow approached, only to reveal a maintenance robot, its sensors blinking benignly. Tom's chuckle broke the tension, a sound of relief. It appears we're merely chasing ghosts tonight. Alara's laughter joined his, resonating in the quiet corridor. Then let us dispel them together, shall we? Days blended together under the harsh, artificial lights of the space station's hangar. Tom and Alara had honed their partnership to a seamless rhythm, their movements and tool exchanges as synchronized as clockwork. The ship, once a battered relic, now hummed softly, resonating with the promise of rejuvenation. As they toiled, Tom expressed his awe at the sophistication of Nebulon engineering. I always thought human tech was cutting edge, but this, he remarked, maneuvering a complex array of biocircuitry with a fine-tipped calibrator, is truly remarkable. It's more than technology, Alara responded, her eyes reflecting a mix of pride and nostalgia. It's a link to our heritage, our bond with Nebulon. Each ship carries a fragment of our homeland. Their discussion was cut short by the sharp beep of a diagnostic monitor. Tom, frowning, tapped the display, cycling through the data. His brow creased in concern. That's strange. There was a brief dip in power levels from life support to propulsion. Could it be a residual effect from the sabotage? Alara suggested, leaning in to scrutinize the readings. Possibly, Tom murmured, his eyes tracing the labyrinth of codes sprawling across the screen. Or it might be someone still attempting to keep you here. Standing abruptly, his tone hardened. I need to run a full system diagnostic, check for any backdoors that might have been left open. As Tom delved into the diagnostics, Alara paced the hangar's perimeter, her thoughts mirroring the erratic shadows cast by the overhead lights. She understood the stakes. Another act of sabotage could escalate tensions, possibly leading her people towards an unwanted conflict. Her introspection was shattered by the harsh clang of the hangar door slamming shut. Whirling around, she saw Tom at the console, his expression alarmed. I didn't do that, he stated, locking eyes with her. We've been locked in. Realization dawned on them simultaneously. It was a trap. Someone had seized control of the hangar systems. Can you override it? Alara's voice was calm, masking her rising concern. Tom's fingers danced over the holographic keys, code scrolling at a frantic pace. I'm trying, but this is sophisticated, unlike anything I've encountered. Time seemed to stretch into an agonizing limbo as Tom wrestled with the intruder's programming. Alara, poised and ready, clutched a makeshift weapon fashioned from debris. Suddenly, Tom let out a triumphant yell, "Got it! Control is ours again." However, their relief was fleeting. The monitor flickered, and a chilling message materialized, "Leave the Nebulon alone." Tom's look was grave as he met Alara's determined gaze. This goes deeper than we realized. Yes, Alara affirmed, her resolve steeling. And it's all the more reason to continue our work. They returned to the console, their spirits galvanized. Every line of code Tom secured, every system check Alara conducted, stood as a testament to their defiance against those who wielded fear and deception. In the pre-dawn stillness of Upsilon Space Station, a quiet hush enveloped the hangar where Tom and Alara were making final adjustments. The gentle hum of the newly repaired ship served as a tranquil backdrop to the tension-filled air, as today marked the critical test of the ship's systems, a pivotal step towards Alara's impending departure, and the unveiling of the conspiracy that sought to thwart her. Tom double-checked the propulsion systems, his focus unwavering. When Alara approached, her expression etched with both resolve and apprehension. "Everything's set for the test flight," she murmured, her voice so soft it nearly melded with the silence, as if she feared shattering the fragile calm. He nodded, wiping his hands on a rag. "Let's hope today unfolds without any surprises." Alara offered a tentative smile. "Given what we've faced, I'm prepared for just about anything." As the first blush of dawn tinged the eastern horizon, they activated the launch sequence. The ship sprang to life, its engines purring with a vibrancy that spoke volumes of Tom's skill and Alara's meticulous guidance. Yet, the peace was fleeting. Midway through the system diagnostics, alarms shattered the morning calm. Tom's eyes flicked to the control panel, his fingers flying over the interface. "We've got unauthorized access. Someone's attempting to shut down the systems remotely." "Can you bypass it?" Alara asked, her voice steady despite her fists clenching at her sides. "Trying," Tom grunted, his concentration etched deeply across his furrowed brow. The tension spiked with each passing second, the looming threat of their work being unraveled all too real. With a final keystroke, the alarms halted, and the ship stabilized. Tom exhaled deeply, his relief tangible. "Lockouts in place. They can't breach our systems now." But Alara's relief was fleeting, her communicator vibrated with urgency. She read the brief message, an encrypted location and a time. "It's from them," she disclosed, showing Tom the screen. "They want to meet." "That could be a trap," Tom remarked, concern lacing his words. "It undoubtedly is," Alara concurred, her eyes hardening. "Yet, it's our only opportunity to uncover the identities and motives of those behind this." With minimal preparation, they armed themselves with their collected evidence and sharp wits, heading to the designated meeting point, a seldom visited sector of the station. The usual buzz of the station's activity seemed subdued, as if it too sensed the gravity of the moment. They reached the appointed location, a narrow corridor framed by the vastness of space visible through nearby windows. A shadowy figure awaited them, features hidden in darkness. "Princess Alara," came the mechanically distorted voice, "you should have stayed out of this." "Why?" Alara advanced, her stance majestic even in the face of threat. "Why undermine my mission with such fervor?" The figure stepped into the light, displaying the insignia of a high-ranking council member. "Because peace doesn't yield profit, Princess. War, on the other hand, fills pockets." Tom's expression twisted in revulsion. "You're endangering thousands of lives for profit?" A hollow laugh echoed against the metallic walls from their adversary. "You view the picture too narrowly, human." Before more could be revealed, Alara's foresight to carry a concealed recording device paid off, capturing the damning conversation. Security swiftly detained the council member, as he was exposed. "We've done it," Tom remarked, a supportive clap on her shoulder. "Yes," Alara agreed, her eyes reflecting the dawn's first light on the station. "Now, let's illuminate this truth for all to see."